There are places on this planet that don't just amaze you, they awaken something deep inside, a reminder of how beautiful Earth can be.
From roaring waterfalls and hidden glaciers to golden deserts and coral seas, these aren't just landscapes. They're the heartbeat of our planet.
UNESCO has named them World Heritage Sites, natural wonders so rare, so extraordinary, they belong to all of us.
Some are world famous, like the Grand Canyon and the Great Barrier Reef. Others, hidden deep in jungles or carved by ice and time, remain Earth's best-kept secrets.
So grab your sense of wonder, and let's journey through 40 of the most breathtaking natural wonders ever created.
This is the ultimate UNESCO adventure.
Number 40, Grand Canyon. You know, every time people talk about must-see places, the Grand Canyon always comes up, but I don't think anything really prepares you for it.
Not at all. That first moment, you walk up to the rim and suddenly this massive chasm opens up in front of you. It's 277 miles long, up to 18 miles wide, and over a mile deep. It's hard to wrap your head around.
And what blows my mind is the age of it. Some of the rock down there are nearly 2 billion years old. That's older than most life forms we know.
Right. And the canyon itself took shape over millions of years, carved out by the Colorado River. Imagine that, water, slowly cutting through rock, revealing layer after layer of Earth's history like pages in a book.
And that's the beauty of it. The Grand Canyon is both a natural wonder and a living cultural landscape. You're not just looking at rocks, you're looking at deep time and human history side by side.
Standing on the edge, it hits you. This isn't just a view, it's a story written by nature and people over millennia. And somehow, you get to be part of it, even if just for a moment.
Number 39, Ngorongoro Crater, Tanzania.
You know, when people talk about natural wonders in Africa, everyone mentions the Serengeti or Kilimanjaro. But Ngorongoro Crater, that one caught me off guard.
Same here. Standing on the rim, it almost doesn't look real. This massive green bowl stretching as far as you can see, with wildlife moving like tiny dots below. It's like looking into another world.
And technically, it kind of is. Ngorongoro is actually the world's largest intact volcanic caldera, about 20 kilometers across and 600 meters deep. It formed when a massive volcano collapsed on itself around 2 to 3 million years ago.
What's wild is that the crater floor has its own entire ecosystem. Grasslands, swamps, forests, even a soda lake. Over 25,000 animals live here year-round. Lions, elephants, black rhinos, hippos, you name it.
It's like nature built its own giant wildlife sanctuary. And because the walls are so steep, many animals don't leave, which makes this one of the best places on Earth to see Africa's Big Five in a single day.
And it's not just animals. The Maasai people have lived around the crater for generations. Their grazing lands and the wildlife coexist in this delicate balance. It's part natural wonder, part cultural landscape.
Looking out from the rim, it hits you. This place isn't just beautiful. It's a living time capsule. A glimpse of Africa as it's been for thousands of years.
Ngorongoro Crater isn't just a view. It's a story still unfolding, and we get to witness it.
Number 38. Bwindi, Impenetrable Forest, Uganda. You know, some places feel like they belong in another time. And then there's Bwindi. Stepping into that forest feels like crossing a threshold.
Totally. It's dense, misty, and alive with sound. You can hear insects buzzing, birds calling, and branches rustling, like the forest is whispering its secrets.
And those secrets are ancient. Bwindi Impenetrable Forest is one of the oldest rainforests in Africa, more than 25,000 years old. It's tucked in southwestern Uganda, covering about 331 square kilometers of steep hills and tangled vegetation.
And the name Impenetrable isn't a joke. The forest is so thick that trekking through it feels like pushing into a green wall. But that's exactly why it's such an incredible refuge for wildlife.
Most famously, it's home to nearly half of the world's remaining mountain gorillas. Around 450 of them live here, moving through the trees in small family groups. Encountering them is one of the rarest wildlife experiences on the planet.
And it's not just gorillas. There are over 350 bird species, hundreds of butterflies, rare forest elephants. It's a biodiversity hotspot. Plus, local Batwa communities have lived here for generations, coexisting with the forest in a way that's deeply rooted in tradition.
What's amazing is how Bwindi blends nature and culture. It's not just a protected site. It's a living ecosystem where human history and wild nature have grown together.
When you leave, you don't just remember what you saw, you remember how it felt. Bwindi stays with you.
Number 37, Vatnajökull Glacier and Volcanic Landscapes, Iceland. The first time I saw Vatnajökull, it felt like staring at another planet. Just endless white, shimmering under a sky that refuses to stay still.
Right? It's massive. This isn't just a glacier, it's a frozen kingdom. Vatnajökull covers about 8% of Iceland. That's nearly 7,900 square kilometers of ice.
And beneath all that frozen surface lies a secret, active volcanoes. There are several volcanic systems under the glacier. When they erupt, the heat melts the ice so quickly it causes sudden floods, known as Jökulhlaups.
That mix of fire and ice is what makes this place so unique. The glacier feeds powerful rivers, carves deep valleys, and hides ice caves that look like glowing blue tunnels when sunlight hits them just right.
Those caves change every winter too. No two seasons look the same here. It's like the landscape is constantly rewriting itself, sculpted by volcanic heat below and glacial movement above. And it's all part of Vatnajökull National Park, which is not only Iceland's largest protected area, but also home to Afnadalshnur, the country's highest peak. Everywhere you look, nature is on full display.
What's striking is how fast it's changing. The glacier has been retreating rapidly because of climate change. Standing there, you realize you're watching geological history unfold in real time.
Visiting Vatnajökull isn't just about seeing ice. It's about witnessing the power and fragility of our planet in one breathtaking place. Number 36, Shark Bay, Australia.
The first thing that hits you at Shark Bay isn't the sharks, it's the colors. Bright turquoise water, brilliant white sandbars, and red desert cliffs. It's like nature decided to show off.
It's stunning. And what's wild is that Shark Bay isn't just beautiful. It's one of the most scientifically important marine environments on Earth. No wonder. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Let's start with its size. Shark Bay covers more than 2.2 million hectares on Australia's western coast. That's bigger than some countries. It's a maze of bays, peninsulas, and islands teeming with life.
And here's the cool part. This is home to the largest and richest seagrass meadows in the world. These underwater pastures support everything from dugongs and dolphins to green turtles and, yes, sharks.
Dugongs especially love it here. Around 10,000 of them live in Shark Bay, making it one of their last major strongholds. Add to that migrating whales and flocks of seabirds, and you've got a living marine sanctuary.
But Shark Bay isn't just about wildlife. It's also home to stromatolites, ancient rock-like structures built by microorganisms. These things are basically living fossils.
Number 35, Te Wahipounamu, New Zealand. When you first see Te Wahipounamu, it feels like stepping into a landscape that time forgot. Towering peaks, deep fjords, and waterfalls spilling straight from the clouds.
This region covers about 2.6 million hectares across the southwest of New Zealand's South Island. That's almost 10% of the entire country. No wonder UNESCO calls it one of the world's best representations of a temperate wilderness.
Most people know it for fjordland, Places like Milford Sound, where sheer cliffs rise over a kilometer straight from the sea. When it rains, hundreds of temporary waterfalls appear like silver threads running down the rock faces.
And it rains a lot. Some areas get up to 7,000 millimeters of rain a year, which is why it looks so lush and dramatic. But the story here goes way deeper, literally. These fjords were carved by glaciers over millions of years.
And behind Fjordland rise the Southern Alps, formed by the collision of tectonic plates. They're still growing today, which means this landscape is constantly shifting, a living geological process you can actually see. There's also a strong cultural layer. Te Wahipounamu means the place of greenstone in Maori.
For centuries, the Mbori have treasured Pounamu, or jade, for its beauty and spiritual value. This region is deeply tied to their identity. That combination of wild nature and living culture is what makes it so special. It's not just scenery, it's history, geology, and heritage intertwined.
Number 34. Sundarbans, Mangrove Forest, India.
The Sundarbans isn't the kind of forest you walk through. It's the kind that swallows you whole. A maze of tangled roots, shifting tides, and thick green canopies.
It's wild in every sense. This is the world's largest mangrove forest, stretching over 10,000 square kilometers across India and Bangladesh. It's where land and sea constantly blur.
And it's not just the size that's impressive. It's the ecosystem. Mangroves thrive in salty, muddy water, creating this dense network of roots that act like natural filters and storm barriers.
They're also a lifeline for wildlife. The Sundarbans is home to hundreds of species, from crocodiles and spotted deer to rare river dolphins. But its most famous resident? The Royal Bengal tiger.
These tigers are incredible. Unlike their inland cousins, they can swim long distances, weaving through creeks and tidal channels. It's one of the few places on Earth where tigers and humans share the same waterways.
And people have been part of this landscape for centuries. Local communities depend on the forest for fishing, honey gathering, and timber, all while navigating the dangers of tides and predators.
Number 33. Rio Plátano, Biosphere Reserve, Honduras. The Rio Plátano Biosphere Reserve isn't the kind of place you stumble into. It's remote, wild, and alive, a stretch of rainforest that feels almost untouched by time.
Exactly. It sits along Honduras's northeastern coast and spans over 500,000 hectares. That's larger than some countries' entire national park systems. It's one of the last great tropical forests in Central America.
What's amazing is the diversity packed into this single reserve. You've got dense rainforests, winding rivers, rugged mountains, and even coastal lagoons all in one protected area.
And that mix of habitats supports an incredible range of wildlife. Jaguars, tapirs, giant anteaters, scarlet macaws, even endangered species like the Baird's tapir and harpy eagle call this place home.
And let's not forget the present. Indigenous groups like the Mosquito and Peck still live in and around the reserve, relying on the forest's rivers and resources much like their ancestors did. Their traditions are part of this landscape's identity.
But it's a fragile balance. Illegal logging and hunting, plus encroaching agriculture, threaten this ecosystem. It's why UNESCO designated it a World Heritage Site and later put it on the endangered list to help protect it. Number 32. Angel Falls, Venezuela.
The first time you see Angel Falls, it almost doesn't register. A ribbon of water drops straight out of the clouds like the sky itself has sprung a leak.
And that's exactly the magic of it. This isn't just any waterfall. Angel Falls is the tallest uninterrupted waterfall in the world, plunging 979 meters from the top of Ollantaytambo, one of Venezuela's famous tabletop mountains.
The setting is just as dramatic. It's tucked deep inside Canaima National Park, a vast stretch of rainforest and sandstone plateaus that feels completely untouched. You can't just drive here. The only way in is by plane or riverboat.
Which makes getting there part of the adventure. Once you're close, the sound hits you first, a low, distant roar that builds as you approach. By the time you look up, the The water's free-falling for almost a kilometer before it turns into mist.
And that mist is everywhere. On windy days, the water never even reaches the ground in one stream. It evaporates mid-air, creating this ghostly spray drifting through the jungle.
The falls were named after Jimmy Angel, an American pilot who crash-landed on top of the Tepuy in 1937. But long before that, the indigenous Pemon people called it Karapakupai Meru, meaning waterfall of the deepest place.
Angel Falls isn't just a sight. It's a reminder of how wild, remote, and awe-inspiring our planet still is.
Number 31. Okavango Delta, Botswana. Imagine a river that doesn't end in the sea. It just disappears into the desert. That's exactly what happens in the Okavango Delta.
It's incredible, right? Every year, floodwaters from Angola travel hundreds of kilometers and spread out across northern Botswana, creating this massive inland delta, a seasonal oasis right in the middle of the Kalahari Desert.
And when it floods, life explodes. The Okavango Delta spans up to 15,000 square kilometers at its peak, turning dry plains into a maze of waterways, islands, and lush grasslands.
That seasonal rhythm is everything here. As the water arrives during Botswana's dry season, animals migrate in from all directions. Elephants, lions, antelopes, hippos. It becomes one of the greatest wildlife gatherings on Earth.
What's amazing is how pristine it is. There are no dams blocking the flow, no industrial development. It's one of the few major delta systems left that functions entirely naturally.
It's recognized by UNESCO for both its ecological importance and its beauty. From above, the delta looks like a giant green fan opening out across the sand.
Standing here, surrounded by the sounds of birds and flowing water, it's clear the Okavango isn't just a place. It's a living pulse in the heart of Africa.
Number 30. Pantanal Wetlands. At first glance, the Pantanal looks endless, just water, grass, and sky merging into one. It's hard to tell where the land ends and the wetlands begin.
That's part of its magic. The Pantanal is the world's largest tropical wetland, covering around 140,000 square kilometers across Brazil, Bolivia, and Paraguay. It's bigger than England, and almost entirely flat.
During the rainy season, rivers overflow and flood most of the basin, creating a massive, shallow inland sea. When the waters recede, it leaves behind lagoons, marshes, and grasslands teeming with life.
And what a show that life puts on. This is one of the most biodiverse places on Earth. There are more than 650 bird species, 260 fish species, and hundreds of mammals and reptiles. It's also the best place in South America to spot jaguars in the wild. Unlike in dense rainforests, here you can actually see them lounging along riverbanks or hunting capybaras in broad daylight.
It's a delicate balance, though. Agriculture, deforestation, and wildfires are putting pressure on this ecosystem. Conservation efforts are crucial to keep this natural wonder thriving.
When you stand on a boat at sunrise, surrounded by birds taking off in every direction, it's clear the Pantanal isn't just a wetland. It's a living, breathing masterpiece.
Number 29. Huanglong Travertin Pools, China.
At first, it almost looks like someone tiled the mountainside with turquoise glass. But it's all real. This is Huanglong, and it's unlike anywhere else on Earth.
It's stunning. We're in the Minshan Mountains of Sichuan, China, about 3,000 meters above sea level. And these pools? They're not man-made. They've been forming for thousands of years.
The secret is travertin. As mineral-rich water flows down the valley, it deposits layers of calcium carbonate. Over time, those deposits build natural terraces, hundreds of shallow pools stacked like a staircase.
And the colors are unreal. The water shifts between shades of turquoise, green, and gold, depending on the light and the mineral content. From above, it looks like a dragon's shimmering scales, which is where Huanglong gets its name, yellow dragon.
The entire valley stretches about 3.6 kilometers, with the travertin pools winding through forests, waterfalls, and temples. which makes it part of a protected UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it's as much a cultural place as a natural one.
Right, Tibetan communities have lived here for centuries. Temples like the Huanglong ancient temple sit near the pools, blending spiritual traditions with the landscape. It's a place where geology and culture intertwine beautifully.
What's amazing is how delicate it all is. The pools rely on precise water flow and mineral balance. Any change, like tourism or climate shifts, can affect their formation.
It's clear why Huanglong is so treasured. It's a reminder of how nature's slow, steady work can create something breathtaking.
Number 28. Tasmanian Wilderness, Australia.
There's something almost otherworldly about the Tasmanian wilderness. Mist clings to ancient forests, rivers cut through deep gorges, and everything feels untouched.
It really is one of Earth's last great wild frontiers. This protected area covers about 1.5 million hectares, nearly 20% of Tasmania, and includes rugged mountains, rainforests, caves, and glacial valleys.
What makes it so special is how much history is layered into this landscape. Some of the plants here, like the Huon pine, date back thousands of years. It's like walking through a living time capsule.
And underground, the story continues. The limestone caves here hold some of the oldest evidence of human habitation in Australia, more than 35,000 years old. Indigenous Tasmanians lived in these harsh, cold environments long before European arrival.
Geologically, it's just as fascinating. Glaciers carved many of these valleys during the Ice Age, leaving behind dramatic peaks and pristine lakes. Some areas are so remote they can only be reached by days of trekking or small aircraft.
And despite that isolation, this wilderness is teeming with life, from giant tree ferns and rare orchids to unique animals like the Tasmanian devil and platypus. It's one of the most intact temperate ecosystems left on the planet.
Surrounded by these ancient trees and echoing silence, it's easy to understand why UNESCO listed this as a World Heritage Site for both its natural and cultural significance.
Number 27. Namib Dunes, Namibia.
Standing here feels like stepping onto another planet. Waves of red-orange sand stretch as far as the eye can see, silent, shifting, endless.
And that's the Namib Sea. It's not just a desert, it's a living landscape. These dunes rise over 300 meters high, some of the tallest in the world, sculpted constantly by the wind.
What's wild is that this is one of the only coastal deserts on Earth. The sand meets the Atlantic Ocean, creating a surreal meeting point between arid dunes and crashing waves.
Geologists say the Namib is at least 55 million years old, making it the oldest desert on the planet. The dunes themselves are shaped from ancient river sediments carried here by wind over millennia.
And despite the harsh conditions, life has adapted in remarkable ways. Beetles collect fog on their backs to drink. Oryx and reptiles thrive in extreme temperatures. It's a masterclass in survival.
Even the fog plays a crucial role. Cold ocean currents generate thick morning mists that drift inland, giving plants and animals just enough moisture to endure. It's like the desert breathes every dawn.
In 2013, UNESCO recognized the Namib Sea as a World Heritage Site, not just for its beauty, but because it's the only coastal fog desert on the list. It's truly one of a kind.
Number 26. Mount Everest, Nepal. You know, there's this moment when you first lay eyes on Everest. Everything just goes still. It's not just a mountain. It's like this massive giant rising out of the clouds, holding up the sky itself.
Right? And it kind of should hold up the sky. It's the tallest point on Earth, after all. Mount Everest stands at 8,848.86 meters, sitting right on the border between Nepal and Tibet. It absolutely dominates the Himalayas.
What blows my mind is that it's still growing. Like, literally. Tectonic plates, the Indian and Eurasian, keep pushing against each other, and Everest rises by a few millimeters every year. It's a living, evolving mountain born 60 million years ago.
And climbing it? That's become legendary. Remember 1953, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay? The first official summit. Since then, thousands have tried to follow in their footsteps. But it's never a casual climb.
No kidding. Once you hit the death zone, that's anything above 8,000 meters, your body literally starts shutting down. There's barely any oxygen. Temperatures can drop below minus 40 degrees Celsius, and storms? They can hit without warning.
And yet, for the Sherpa communities who've lived here for generations, Everest, Sagarmatha in Nepali, Amalungma in Tibetan, is way more than just a peak. It's sacred. It represents strength, reverence, almost a spiritual heartbeat.
Exactly. Every expedition passes through these quiet villages where prayer flags snap in the icy wind. It's a powerful reminder. Everest demands respect, not just awe.
Standing at its base, looking up, you can't help but feel small and strangely connected. It's like staring right into the pulse of the planet.
Number 25, Everglades Wetlands, USA. At sunrise, the Everglades look almost still, a sheet of golden water stretching to the horizon. But look closer, and everything is moving.
Exactly. This isn't just a swamp. It's a slow, shallow river, about 100 miles long, flowing from Lake Okeechobee down to Florida Bay. The entire ecosystem depends on that steady, gentle flow.
And it's huge. The Everglades cover roughly 1.5 million acres, making it the largest tropical wetland in the United States. It's often called the River of Grass because of the sawgrass marshes that ripple like waves in the wind.
What's fascinating is how diverse it is. Alligators glide through the waterways. Wading birds like herons and egrets stalk the shallows, and manatees cruise along the coastal edges. It's a crossroads of fresh and saltwater species.
And it's ancient. These wetlands formed about 5,000 years ago as sea level stabilized. Over time, this flat landscape evolved into one of the most complex and delicate ecosystems on Earth.
Indigenous peoples like the Kalisa and Miccosukee thrived here long before modern development. They built their lives around the rhythms of the water, understanding the land in ways we're only beginning to relearn.
Today, the Everglades face serious challenges: water diversion, urban growth, and climate change. But massive restoration efforts are underway to bring the flow back to what it once was.
Standing here, surrounded by water and wildlife, you realize this place isn't just important for Florida. It's vital for the planet. A reminder of how connected everything truly is. Number 24, Pamir Mountains, Tajikistan. Standing here, it feels like the world's roof is within reach. Jagged peaks rise into thin blue air, and the silence is almost overwhelming.
This is the Pamir Mountains, often called the roof of the world. Stretching across Tajikistan and spilling into Afghanistan, China, and Kyrgyzstan, these mountains form one of the highest and most dramatic landscapes on Earth.
Some peaks here soar over 7,000 meters. Peak Ismoil Sumoni, the tallest in Tajikistan, reaches 7,495 meters. But it's not just the height, it's the sense of remoteness. Few places feel this untouched.
Geologically, this range sits where several tectonic plates collide. Over millions of years, that pressure thrust these ancient rocks upward, creating steep valleys and towering ridgelines that rival the Himalayas.
Historically, this was a crossroads of cultures. The Silk Road wound its way through these mountains, linking traders, explorers, and empires. Even today, you'll find caravanserai ruins and villages that have preserved centuries-old traditions.
The Pamirs are also home to unique communities like the Pamari people, who've adapted to the harsh conditions at high altitude. Their languages, architecture, and hospitality reflect a deep connection to the land.
It's not an easy place to reach. Winding roads, thin air, and unpredictable weather make travel challenging. But that's part of the allure. Every bend in the road reveals another breathtaking vista.
Up here, surrounded by peaks that scrape the sky, you get the feeling that time slows down, and the world suddenly feels both vast and incredibly alive. Number 23, the Amazon Rainforest, Peru. The air here feels alive. Thick, warm, buzzing with sound. It's like the forest is breathing all around you.
Welcome to Manu, deep in the Peruvian Amazon. This place isn't just wild, it's one of the most biodiverse corners of the planet. A living laboratory that's been thriving for millions of years.
The scale is mind-blowing. Manu National Park covers nearly 17,000 square kilometers, stretching from the Andes Mountains down to lowland rainforest. That's like going from alpine peaks to tropical jungle in one protected area.
And the life here? Unmatched. Scientists have recorded over 1,000 bird species, hundreds of mammals, and thousands of plants, with new species still being discovered. Jaguars, giant river otters, macaws. They all call this home.
What's remarkable is how untouched it remains. Large parts of the park are closed to the public to protect fragile ecosystems and indigenous communities who live in voluntary isolation. It's a rare example of true wilderness.
The park was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987, not just for its biodiversity, but for preserving ancient ecological processes. It's like stepping back in time to see the rainforest before human impact.
Getting here isn't easy. It takes a mix of flights, boat rides, and trekking. But that isolation is exactly what keeps Manu so pristine. It's protected by its remoteness.
Surrounded by layers of green and a chorus of wildlife, you can't help but feel humbled. Manu isn't just a forest, it's the heartbeat of the Amazon. Number 22. Serengeti Ecosystem, the Great Migration, Tanzania.
It starts as a distant rumble, then the ground begins to shake, and before you know it, a river of animals is moving across the plains.
This is the Serengeti during the Great Migration. Over 1 million wildebeest, joined by zebras and gazelles, set off on a circular journey that's one of the most spectacular wildlife events on Earth.
The Serengeti ecosystem stretches across northern Tanzania and into Kenya's Masai Mara, covering nearly 30,000 square kilometers. It's vast, open savanna, endless golden grasslands dotted with acacia trees.
The migration follows the rains. In search of fresh grazing, the herds move in a massive loop every year. Calving season begins in the south around January, and by mid-year they're braving river crossings filled with crocodiles in the north.
And it's not just about movement, it's survival. Predators like lions, hyenas, and cheetahs follow the herds, making the plains a stage for some of nature's most dramatic encounters.
What's amazing is how ancient this cycle is. It's been happening for thousands of years, shaped by the climate and the landscape. The Maasai people have lived alongside this rhythm, herding cattle and respecting the migration's path.
The Serengeti is a UNESCO World Heritage Site for good reason. It's one of the last places on Earth where a migration of this scale still exists, wild, untamed, and breathtaking. Number 21. Aletsch Glacier, Switzerland. Standing on this ridge, the Aletsch Glacier unfolds before us like a frozen serpent. Doesn't it feel almost otherworldly?
Absolutely. This is the largest glacier in the Alps, stretching over 20 kilometers.
The scale is mind-boggling. With ice up to 900 meters thick, it's like a skyscraper buried beneath the surface. And it flows at a glacial pace, just a few centimeters a day.
From up here, you can see its paths snaking between snow-capped peaks, a testament to its ancient power.
But Aletsch is changing rapidly. Like many glaciers, it's retreating due to climate change. Scientists say it's lost over 3 kilometers of length since the 19th century.
A poignant reminder of the glacier's fragility. Despite its size, it's vulnerable to rising temperatures.
The sounds are incredible. The creaking and cracking of the ice, the rush of meltwater streams. It's like the glacier is alive.
And these streams feed rivers that flow into the Rhine, connecting this glacier to a much larger ecosystem.
As we leave this majestic landscape, we're reminded of the importance of preserving our natural heritage. The Aletsch Glacier is a treasure, not just for Switzerland, but for the world.
A treasure that requires our care and protection for generations to come. Number 20. Java Island, Indonesia. It's hard to believe that one island can hold this much life, cities buzzing, volcanoes smoking, and forests whispering all at once.
Java isn't just any island. It's the beating heart of Indonesia, home to over 150 million people, making it one of the most densely populated islands in the world.
And yet, beyond the busy streets of Jakarta and Yogyakarta, the island hides raw natural power. Take Mount Bromo with its otherworldly caldera, or Merapi, one of the most active volcanoes on Earth.
Geologically, Java sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. Tectonic plates colliding beneath it have shaped a chain of volcanoes that dominate its spine, more than 120 in total.
But it's not all fire. The island's rainforests are pockets of ancient biodiversity. Endangered Javan leopards and unique bird species still survive in these shrinking habitats.
Standing on a volcanic ridge at sunrise, with mist swirling below and ancient temples behind you, it feels like past and present are folded into one breathtaking moment.
Java is more than an island. It's a living crossroads of nature, culture, and unstoppable energy. Number 19. Wulingyuan Sandstone Pillars, China. At sunrise, the landscape looks almost impossible. Stone spires push through the mist like the ruins of a lost city.
It's breathtaking. We're in Wulingyuan, Hunan Province, where more than 3,000 sandstone pillars rise out of the earth, some taller than 200 meters. It feels like nature built its own skyscrapers.
The way these pillars formed is just as fascinating. Over millions of years, wind, rain, and ice sculpted the quartz sandstone rock, eroding everything around them until only these vertical towers were left.
And when the fog rolls in, the view transforms completely. The peaks appear and disappear like shifting silhouettes. It's no surprise this place inspired the floating mountains in Avatar.
The protected scenic area covers roughly 690 square kilometers. It includes Zhangjiajie National Forest Park, ravines, caves, streams, and trails that weave through forests and cliffs. Every turn feels cinematic.
UNESCO recognized Wulingyuan as a World Heritage Site in 1992, celebrating both its dramatic scenery and its geological uniqueness. Glass elevators now carry visitors up the cliffs for panoramic views. Looking out across this maze of stone pillars, it's easy to feel like you've stepped into another world, one shaped by time, weather, and imagination. Number 18. Tongariro Volcanic Peaks, New Zealand.
It's hard to imagine a landscape more dramatic than this. Steaming vents, emerald lakes, and volcanic peaks rising against a clear New Zealand sky. This is Tongariro, right in the heart of the North Island. It's a place where geology, culture, and myth collide, creating one of the most extraordinary volcanic landscapes on Earth.
The Tongariro Volcanic Plateau is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. The peaks here, Tongariro, Ngorongoro, and Ruapehu, are active volcanoes, shaped by hundreds of thousands of years of eruptions. Ngorongoro, often recognized as Mount Doom from the Lord of the Rings films, last erupted in 1975. Ruapehu remains one of the most active volcanoes in New Zealand, with periodic eruptions and crater lake activity.
Beyond the volcanic power, the scenery is unreal. The Tongariro Alpine Crossing, a 19.4-kilometer trail, leads hikers through lunar-like terrain, past turquoise crater lakes and steaming fumaroles. It's often called one of the best day hikes in the world. But this isn't just a geological wonder, it's sacred land. For the Mbari, Tongariro holds deep spiritual significance. In 1887, the peaks were gifted to the nation by Embark chief to ensure their protection, creating New Zealand's first national park.
The park is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site for both its natural and cultural value, a rare dual recognition that reflects its unique power and meaning.
Looking across the volcanic plateau, it's easy to feel the weight of time and story here, a landscape that's both alive and deeply revered.
Number 17. Yellowstone Geothermal Area, USA.
Steam rises from the earth like the park is breathing. Everywhere you look, the ground hisses, bubbles, and bursts with color.
This is Yellowstone's geothermal heart, a landscape sitting right on top of a giant supervolcano. It's one of the most active geothermal zones on the planet, and it feels alive in every sense.
Beneath our feet is a massive magma chamber, fueling more than 10,000 thermal features across the park. That includes geysers, hot springs, fumaroles, and mud pots, more than anywhere else in the world.
Old Faithful is probably the most famous. It erupts about every 90 minutes, shooting water up to 40 meters into the air. But it's just one piece of a much bigger geothermal puzzle.
The Grand Prismatic Spring is another icon, a rainbow-colored pool over 110 meters wide. Those brilliant rings come from heat-loving microbes that thrive in different temperature zones.
What's incredible is that this whole system sits inside a huge volcanic caldera formed by an eruption over 600,000 years ago. Scientists monitor it closely, but what we're seeing today is part of a natural cycle that's been ongoing for millennia.
Watching steam rise against the backdrop of mountains, it's easy to see why. This isn't just a wonder, it's the planet revealing its heartbeat. Number 16. Lake Baikal, Russia. The water here is so clear you can see stones lying on the lake bed dozens of meters below. It almost feels like looking through glass.
This is Lake Baikal in Siberia, a place that defies scale. It stretches over 640 kilometers long and holds more water than any other freshwater lake on Earth.
In fact, Baikal contains about 20% of the world's unfrozen fresh water. That's more than all the North American Great Lakes combined. And it's deep, over 1,600 meters, making it the deepest lake in the world.
Geologically, it's a rift lake. The Earth's crust here is slowly pulling apart, creating a basin that's still widening every year. Scientists say Baikal is essentially a young ocean in the making.
It's also ancient, around 25 million years old, which makes it the oldest lake on the planet. That age has allowed thousands of unique species to evolve here, including the Baikal seal, the only freshwater seal in the world.
Beyond the science, there's deep cultural significance too. Indigenous Buryat communities consider the lake sacred, calling it the Pearl of Siberia. It's been a spiritual and cultural center for centuries.
In winter, Baikal freezes into a sheet of crystal blue ice, cracking like thunder as it shifts. In summer, its vast waters reflect endless skies. No matter the season, it feels alive.
Looking out across this ancient lake, it's clear why people call it timeless, a natural wonder that holds both the past and the future in its depths. Number 15. Rocky Mountains, Canada.
When the peaks appear on the horizon, it almost feels like the land is rising up to meet the sky. The Rockies don't just sit on the landscape, they define it.
Absolutely. Stretching over 4,800 kilometers from Canada down to New Mexico, the Rocky Mountains are one of North America's greatest natural backbones. Wild, rugged, and breathtaking.
Geologists believe these mountains began forming around 80 million years ago, during what's called the Laramide orogeny, a massive uplift that pushed ancient seabeds into the towering peaks we see today.
And they're still changing. Glaciers carved deep valleys, rivers sliced through rock, and tectonic forces continue to shape the range. Some peaks reach over 4,000 meters, like Mount Elbert in Colorado, the highest point in the range.
Beyond the geology, the ecosystems here are incredibly diverse, from alpine, tundra, to dense pine forests. Elk, grizzlies, eagles, and bighorn sheep thrive in these environments, making the Rockies a wildlife stronghold.
Today, the Rockies are protected by a chain of national parks and reserves, from Banff and Jasper in Canada to Yellowstone and Rocky Mountain National Park in the US. They're a living link between past and present.
Looking across the jagged skyline, it's easy to feel both small and inspired, a reminder of the forces that shape not just the land, but us too. Number 14. Tsingy de Bimaraha, Limestone Pinnacles. Madagascar. From a distance, it looks like a stone forest, sharp gray peaks stretching to the horizon like frozen waves.
Up close, it's even more surreal. This is Tsingy de Bimaraha in western Madagascar, a labyrinth of limestone pinnacles that's as dangerous as it is breathtaking.
Tsingy means where one cannot walk barefoot in Malagasy, and that's no exaggeration. These jagged formations can slice through shoes. Some spires reach nearly 70 meters high, creating a maze of razor-sharp rock.
Geologically, this landscape began as a massive limestone bed more than 200 million years ago. Rainwater slowly dissolved the rock, carving deep canyons and leaving behind these blade-like towers. It's erosion on an epic scale.
The area covers about 1,500 square kilometers and is both a national park and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Rope bridges and narrow trails allow visitors to weave through the formations. But it's not for the faint-hearted.
Despite the harsh terrain, the Tsingy is full of life. Lemurs leap between the spires, rare birds nest in crevices, and unique plants cling to the rock, species found nowhere else on Earth. Looking out over this jagged sea of stone, it's clear why it's unlike anywhere else. A natural fortress shaped by time, water, and culture.
Number 13. Victoria Falls. The sound hits first, a deep, thundering roar that makes the ground tremble. Then the mist rises, and suddenly you see it. A curtain of water so massive it looks endless.
That's Victoria Falls, one of the largest waterfalls on Earth. The local name, Mosiotunya, means the smoke that thunders. And when you're standing here, surrounded by the roar and mist, that name makes perfect sense.
The scale is staggering. The falls stretch over 1.7 kilometers wide and plunge more than 100 meters down into a gorge carved by the mighty Zambezi River.
And it's not just one drop. The water splits into a series of cascades: Devil's Cataract, Main Falls, Rainbow Falls, each one thundering in its own rhythm, each with its own rising cloud of spray seen from miles away.
During peak flood season, over 500 million cubic meters of water pour over the edge every minute. Can you imagine that? It's like watching the planet breathe, wild, powerful, and completely untamed.
But for the Kololo and Lozi peoples, this isn't just nature's power, it's sacred. They believe spirits dwell here, where sky, land, and water come together.
In 1989, Victoria Falls earned its place as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, protecting both sides of this incredible wonder, across Zambia and Zimbabwe.
Standing here, drenched in mist and thunder, you realize this isn't just water falling.
It's the heartbeat of an entire continent.
Number 12, Galapagos Islands, Ecuador.
It's wild to think there's a place on Earth where sea lions nap beside marine iguanas and penguins swim under the equator. The archipelago sits about 1,000 kilometers off Ecuador's coast. It's made up of 13 main islands, born from volcanic activity millions of years ago. Even today, eruptions still shape the landscape.
The Galapagos Islands feel like another planet. Every creature here seems custom designed by nature's imagination, and in a way, they were. This is where Charles Darwin shaped his theory of evolution. And because they were so isolated, species here evolved with almost no predators. That's why animals don't fear humans. You can walk within meters of giant tortoises that live over 100 years.
The surrounding waters are just as extraordinary. A marine reserve covering around 133,000 square kilometers. Cold and warm ocean currents collide here, creating one of the richest ecosystems on the planet.
More than 2,000 species call these islands home, many found nowhere else. It's like stepping into a living laboratory, one that's still teaching us about adaptation and resilience.
Standing here, you can actually feel evolution at work. It's not just history, it's happening right in front of you.
A fragile paradise shaped by fire and time, and a reminder of how life thrives when it's left to write its own story. Number 11. Mount Etna, Italy.
Imagine standing on a slope that's been alive for 500,000 years, and it's still rumbling beneath your feet.
Mount Etna isn't just any volcano. It's Europe's tallest active one, about 3,300 meters high, and one of the most continuously active on the planet.
What's wild is how close life and lava coexist here. Towns, vineyards, even ski resorts cling to its flanks. And when it erupts, people often just watch from their balconies.
That's because Etna has erupted so often, sometimes multiple times a year, that locals have learned to live with it. Historical records go back to 1500 BCE, making it one of the world's best documented volcanoes.
Geologically, Etna sits where the African plate pushes under the Eurasian plate. That pressure fuels its explosive power, shaping craters, lava flows, and even new landscapes after each eruption.
And it's not all destruction. The volcanic soil is incredibly fertile. Grapevines thrive here, producing wines with flavors you won't find anywhere else in Italy.
Walking up the black slopes with steam rising through cracks, you feel the planet breathing. It's both eerie and beautiful.
Etna is a reminder that Earth is never still, a living giant, reshaping Sicily one eruption at a time.
Number 10. Ha Long Bay, Vietnam.
At sunrise, the bay doesn't just wake up, it glows. Limestone towers rise through the mist like ancient sentinels.
It's hard not to be stunned. Over 1,600 islands and islets scatter across these emerald waters. From above, Ha Long Bay looks like a shattered jade bowl, each fragment jutting into the sky.
These formations didn't happen overnight. We're talking about 500 million years of shifting seas and eroding stone. Nature sculpting limestone into steep cliffs and hidden caves.
And what's fascinating is how the Glacier evolved in both marine and continental environments. The bay is a textbook example of how water can carve entire landscapes over geological time.
But it's not just geology. Vietnamese legend says a dragon descended from the heavens, thrashing its tail to create these peaks and valleys. Ha Long literally means descending dragon.
Cruising through the mist, surrounded by these towering pillars, it feels like entering another world, part myth, part deep time.
Ha Long Bay isn't just a sight to see. It's a story to step into, written in water, rock, and legend. Number 9. Plitvice Lakes, Croatia. The sound hits you first. Dozens of waterfalls rushing all at once, like nature's own orchestra echoing through the forest.
And then the colors pull you in. Turquoise lakes, emerald pools, cascades that look like they're pouring straight out of a dream. It's no wonder Plitvice feels almost otherworldly.
What's wild is that these lakes are constantly changing. The waterfalls shift, the terraces grow, all thanks to a process called tufa formation, where minerals in the water build new limestone barriers.
That's right. Over thousands of years, water rich in calcium carbonate has literally sculpted this landscape. Today, 16 terraced lakes are linked by more than 90 waterfalls, flowing through deep woodland.
It's more than just a natural wonder, too. Plitvice was declared Croatia's first national park back in 1949, and UNESCO added it to the World Heritage List in 1979 for its geological and ecological value.
The ecosystem here is pristine. Brown bears, lynx, wolves, they all roam these forests. And walking the wooden boardwalks, you really get this sense of stepping inside a living, breathing water system.
Every ripple, every fall is part of a slow, ongoing transformation. This place isn't frozen in time. It's evolving right in front of you.
Plitvice isn't just beautiful, it's alive. A reminder that water doesn't just flow through landscapes, it shapes them.
Number 8. The Great Barrier Reef. Australia.
The first thing that hits you isn't the color, it's the scale. Looking down, the reef stretches so far, it feels like it could go on forever.
It practically does. This is the Great Barrier Reef, a living structure so massive it can be seen from space. Over 2,300 kilometers long, it's the largest coral reef system on Earth.
And it's alive with activity. More than 600 types of coral build this underwater city, sheltering thousands of species, from neon fish darting between branches to sea turtles gliding through crystal clear waters.
It's not just marine life either. Dugongs, dolphins, even migrating humpback whales pass through these waters. Scientists estimate around 9,000 species call the reef home.
What's incredible is its age. Parts of the reef date back 500,000 years. With the current structure forming over the last 8,000, it's been growing, layer by layer, long before we ever mapped it.
And for the indigenous peoples of Australia, the reef is more than a natural wonder. It's a sacred space woven into thousands of years of culture, navigation, and storytelling.
But like any living system, it's fragile. Rising temperatures and bleaching events threaten its future, making conservation more urgent than ever. Number 7. Simien Mountains, Ethiopia. It's like looking at the edge of the world. Jagged cliffs, deep valleys, and plateaus that rise like ancient fortresses.
The Simien Mountains have that effect. They're not just beautiful, they feel monumental. Some of these peaks climb over 4,500 meters, including Ras Dashen, Ethiopia's highest point.
What's striking is how the landscape tells a geological story. Millions of years ago, volcanic activity and erosion sculpted these dramatic formations, creating one of Africa's most spectacular highlands.
And it's not just rock and ridges. The Simiens are alive with rare wildlife. Gelada baboons grazing along cliffs, Ethiopian wolves prowling the high plateaus, and Walia ibex climbing slopes like mountain acrobats.
It's why the park became one of Africa's very first UNESCO World Heritage Sites back in 1978. This place protects species found nowhere else on Earth.
Walking these trails, you feel that mix, raw natural power and quiet human presence. It's both wild and lived in.
The Simiens aren't just mountains. They're a story carved into stone, written by time, and still unfolding. Number 6. Uluru and Kata Tjuta, Australia.
It's hard to put into words what it feels like to see Uluru for the first time. That massive red rock rising from the desert. It almost doesn't look real.
Exactly, it's not just big, it's monumental. Uluru stands 348 meters high, but what's mind-blowing is that most of it, about 2/3, lies hidden underground.
Geologically, this place is ancient. The rock itself formed around 550 million years ago, and erosion slowly shaped it into the monolith we see today. And just 25 kilometers away, Kata Tjuta, or the Olgas, rises in a cluster of 36 massive domes. Together, they create one of the most striking desert landscapes in the world.
Those stories have been passed down for tens of thousands of years. This land has been continuously inhabited for over 30,000 years, making it one of the oldest living cultures on Earth.
Standing here at sunset, the colors shift from orange to deep red to purple. It feels like the land is breathing, alive, ancient, and aware. Uluru and Kata Tjuta aren't just landmarks. They're living cultural landscapes, holding history, geology, and spirit all in one place.
Number 5. Soka River and Julian Alps, Slovenia. The color is almost unreal, a bright turquoise ribbon cutting through a valley of rugged limestone peaks.
That's the Soka River. Its clarity is so intense that it's often called the Emerald River. Flowing straight from the Julian Alps, it looks like it's been filtered by time itself.
Its source is tucked deep in the Trenta Valley, high in the Triglav National Park. From there, it runs about 138 kilometers, carving canyons and winding through alpine forests before reaching the Adriatic Sea.
The river isn't just beautiful, it's shaped the region's history. During World War I, this was the front line of the Isonzo battles. Entire armies fought along these turquoise banks.
And towering above it all is Mount Triglav, 2,864 meters tall, the highest peak in Slovenia, and a national symbol. Climbing it isn't just a hike, it's a cultural rite of passage for Slovenians.
The Julian Alps themselves are part of the Eastern Alps, formed millions of years ago when tectonic plates collided. Glaciers once carved these valleys, leaving behind the dramatic ridges and riverbeds we see today.
Standing here, you get this sense of timelessness, crystal water flowing beneath ancient peaks. It's nature, history, and culture intertwined.
The Soka and Triglav aren't just landmarks. They're the beating heart of Slovenia's wild beauty, serene, powerful, unforgettable.
Number 4. Zhujiagu Valley Lakes and Waterfalls, China. It almost feels like stepping into a painting, crystal lakes in every shade of blue and green, framed by dense forests and snow-dusted peaks.
Zhujiagu has that effect. The colors of the water are so intense, it's hard to believe they're real. But it's not magic, it's geology and minerals working together over centuries.
The valley stretches about 72 kilometers through the Min Mountains of Sichuan province. Over 100 lakes dot the landscape, connected by cascading waterfalls and streams that seem to flow endlessly.
Those vivid hues come from the high concentration of calcium carbonate in the water. It reflects light in unique ways, giving each lake its own distinct shade, from turquoise to emerald to sapphire blue.
And the tufa formations here constantly reshape the waterfalls. Nature is actively building new terraces and channels, making this valley a living, evolving landscape.
Beyond the scenery, Zhujiagu has deep cultural roots. Tibetan villages have existed here for centuries, and the name itself means Valley of Nine Villages. Shrines and prayer flags the trails.
It's also recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a World Biosphere Reserve, both for its rare beauty and its rich biodiversity.
Standing beside those shimmering lakes, it's clear Juzhegu isn't just a place to see. It's a place to feel, to listen, and to remember. Number 3. Mount Kilimanjaro, Tanzania. There's something surreal about seeing Kilimanjaro rise from the plains. No mountain range, no buildup, just this giant, snow-capped peak piercing the sky.
Exactly, it stands alone like a sentinel at 5,895 meters. Kilimanjaro is the highest mountain in Africa and the tallest freestanding mountain in the world.
What makes it even more fascinating is that it's actually a massive stratovolcano made up of 3 cones: Kibo, Mwenzi, and Shira. Kibo, the central one, is still dormant but not extinct.
And the climb is like walking through different worlds. You start in tropical forests, then pass through moorlands, alpine deserts, and finally reach icy glaciers near the summit. Those glaciers are ancient, thousands of years old, but they're disappearing fast. Scientists warned that they could vanish completely within the next few decades due to climate change.
Reaching Uhuru Peak, the highest point, isn't just a physical climb. It's like traveling through time, from equatorial heat to an ancient ice world.
Kilimanjaro isn't just a mountain. It's a symbol of endurance, change, and the fragile beauty of our planet's extremes.
Number 2. Komodo Islands, Indonesia. It's one of those places that feels untouched. Rugged islands, turquoise waters, and a sense that nature still calls the shots here.
That's the magic of the Komodo Islands, part of Indonesia's Lesser Sunda chain. This remote archipelago is famous for something you won't find anywhere else: the Komodo dragon.
These giant lizards can grow up to 3 meters long. They're powerful predators, descendants of ancient monitor lizards that have ruled these islands for millions of years.
But the dragons are only half the story. Beneath the surface lies one of the richest marine ecosystems on Earth: vibrant coral reefs, manta rays, sea turtles, and over 1,000 species of fish.
The park covers about 1,800 square kilometers, both land and sea. Strong currents between the Pacific and Indian Oceans feed the reefs, making them thrive, but also making diving here an adrenaline rush.
Komodo National Park was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1991, not just for its biodiversity, but also its role in preserving these rare creatures and ecosystems.
Komodo isn't just wild. It's balanced. Land, sea, and people coexisting in one of the most extraordinary corners of the planet.
Number 1. Iguazu Falls. The sound hits you before the view does, a low, endless roar that makes the air vibrate.
And then you see it. A wall of water stretching as far as the eye can see. Iguazu Falls isn't just one waterfall. It's over 270, cascading in a massive semicircle between Argentina and Brazil.
The scale is hard to process. Altogether, the falls span nearly 3 kilometers and drop up to 82 meters. Standing here, you feel tiny, like the jungle itself is breathing around you.
Geologically, these falls were formed around 120 million years ago. Ancient volcanic activity created a basalt plateau, and the Iguazu River carved its way through, splitting into countless channels as it plunged over the edge.
The centerpiece is the Devil's Throat, a U-shaped chasm where half the river's flow crashes down in one thunderous drop. The mist rises like steam and rainbows cut through it when the sun hits just right.
It's no surprise Iguazu is a UNESCO World Heritage Site on both sides of the border. The surrounding subtropical rainforest is teeming with wildlife: toucans, butterflies, jaguars, even howler monkeys in the canopy.
Iguazu isn't just a sight. It's an experience, one that overwhelms every sense and stays with you long after you leave.